as expected after yesterday's news, today is just another update that Five Nights at Freddy's ended up having 130 global debut, which is pretty huge. Going to get into that after the intro. So you know what you gotta do, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And this article just happens to be coming from toronto.citynews.ca. This is just one of the many articles about it. This is the top one that came up. And any noises you hear in the background is my cat just running around. So video game adaptation, Five Nights at Freddy's notches $130 million global debut. Note that it came out on streaming at the same time, and it still made this kind of money in the theater alone. It hardly mattered that Five Nights at Freddy's was released simultaneously in theaters and on streaming. This weekend, fans flocked to movie theaters across the country to see the scary video game adaptation on the big screen, which made $78 million in North American. So North American alone it made 78, and then global it made over here like 52. So here we go. The movie also opened in 64 markets internationally, where it's expected to gross 52.6 million, giving the film 130.6 million global launch, the biggest of any horror released this year. It was an extraordinary debut, said Jim Orr, the president of domestic distribution for Universal, who praised Blumhouse, the filmmakers, and the studio's marketing department for the targeted campaign. Our marketing department continues to be one of the greatest superpowers we have at Universal, he said. Blumhouse, the production behind Paranormal Activity, Get Out, Megan, Black Phone, Five Nights, was produced by Emma Tammy, stars Josh Hutcherson, Mary Stuart Masterson, and Matthew Lillard. The popular video game series in which a security guard has to fend off murderous animatronic characters at a rundown family pizza restaurant. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was created by Scott Cawthorn, and first released in 2014. Everyone said we could never get this movie done, including, by the way, internally by my company, Bloom said. So this is a guy as the head of Blumhouse, because his name was Blum, whatever. He made the film with a reported $20 million budget, so that's pretty amazing. And it paid off. Five Nights is this company's biggest opening of all time, surpassing Halloween's domestic and global. It's also Blumhouse's 19th number one debut, which is noted as an amazing accomplishment. So there they have some breakdowns of the actual viewing stats. The opening weekend audience was predominantly male, 58%, and overwhelmingly young, with them estimated 80% under the age of 25 and 38%. Yeah, so this is pretty much the target market, and that's who went, and that's why it had a huge opening. These are just people who like the game, and that's it. 100% fans of the game. So there you go. While the numbers aren't surprising for anyone who knows the game's audience, is still notable for a generation not known for making theatrical moviegoing a priority. Yeah, that's a good note. Yeah, that's an accurate observation right there. It's great to get that kind of audience in theaters, Orr said. Audiences gave the film an A- cinema score. Yeah, so this is a long article, but down here, it's also notable that it actually has a really low rating, and I feel like, and I'm going to get into that now in a minute too, but if you look at its Rotten Tomatoes score, it's actually 25%. That's for critics. Critically, that's what they give you, which is really low, but the audience score is way different. I'm actually going to look at that in a minute. Five Nights at Freddy's did not score well with critics. However, it is currently dismal 25% on Rotten Tomatoes. Repeats Marketing wrote that it has to go down as one of the poorest films in any genre this year. But like many other horror movies, it appears to be critic proof. Yes, see, horror movies always score well. Like a $20 million budget and $130 million global weekend release. I mean, that's why horror movies are always the best. Second place was Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour. Third place was Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon. So total domestic is 40. Idiot. That's pretty weak. Not even 100 million yet. Come on, Marty. Marty can't even get over 100 million after a few weeks. Five Nights at Freddy's makes 130 in a weekend. This is just what people want to see right now in theaters. It's just kind of what's happening. It's going to become the norm, and there's going to be a big video game release every few months for another game that's going to get like a huge opening weekend because all the fans in that game are going to flock to see it opening weekend. So here at the bottom of the article it says estimated ticket sales for Friday through Sunday at US and Canadian theaters. According to ComScore, final domestic figures will be released Monday, which is tomorrow because this is Sunday. So this here is just domestic. So far, 78 million. Alright, so over here on boxofficemojo.com, where I could try to find the most up-to-date stats on what we've already seen already, as it says, domestic 78 million, international 52-ish, 130 all so far after opening weekend. So that's pretty amazing. At the same time, its ratings are pretty low over here on IMDb, which is one that I would usually find more accurate than Rotten Tomatoes. 5.6, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. That's still a pretty low rating. Of course, over on Rotten Tomatoes, which is everyone considers the standard rating, but I still go with IMDb. But it's critically got a 26%, which is low, with audience score is 89%. So as you can see, low critic score had no effect on how it does theatrically, because the audience loves it, but the audience that's saying they love it also just love the game. So they're probably like, yeah, I love it, but only because I love Five Nights at Freddy's. The movie itself was meh. So you can see a lot of people who just say they love it because they just love the series, regardless the movie itself is like. Well, anyways, peeps, that was my another look update of the Five Nights at Freddy's incredible opening weekend that I don't really even think Blumhouse themselves was expecting, or Universal. 130 million global opening weekend for a video game franchise that got a low rating but still had a huge opening weekend. So there you go. This is going to happen a lot now. Lots of franchises are going to come out with a movie that may be mediocre, but it'll still have a huge weekend. But we'll see how it does next weekend as well. Any video game franchise with enough fans is going to go to the movie for it to be hugely profitable in the theaters. But what do you guys think about that? Is that something that you think or you agree with, or do you think it's bad and it's going to become like the MCU? And I think it will become MCU level, and eventually we're probably going to get sick of them, but it's only just began, so we'll see how long this goes on for. Personally, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what comes out next. What do you guys think? Let me know below. Please like, please subscribe. Keep gaming.